A promissory note, it's a legal financial document that contains a written promise by one party, the borrower or maker, to pay a definite sum of money to another party, lender or payee, either on demand at a specified future date. Basic elements of promissory note: date of issuance, name and address of the borrower and lender. So this promissory note acting as some assurance document. That means when I need to give a money or I need to get a money, we can get into the contract, sort of a contract, by mentioning in one document stating that I would like to pay a money or I would like to receive a money. After a particular period of time, I will be returning it. Like that, we will be mentioning in one particular document. That is called as a promissory note. So in that, we have to mention the name and address of the particular borrower and lender, principal amount, interest rate if anything applicable, repayment terms, place of payment, signature of the borrower or by the lender. So this is a specimen copy of promissory note. Here we have to paste one stamp here. Here the amount, how much we want to transfer, and the date, months, how many months later you want to get a money back, everything we have to mention. I promise to pay rupees so and so, the sum of so and value received. So this is called maker. Who is called maker? The person who like to lend the money to someone else. Essential of promissory note is a written instrument. The promise must, it's a written instrument. The promise must be in writing. Oral premises are not valid as promissory note. Unconditional promise to pay. The note must contain a clear unconditional promise to pay. Example, I promise to pay is essential. Definite sum of money. The amount to be paid must be certain and clearly stated. For example, 5,000, not whatever is owed. Payment to a certain person. So in the promissory note, we have to clearly mention to whom we need to give a money, either to the bearer or some person. Bearer means whoever carries the particular promissory note. Signature of the maker, the person who is making this promissory note, he or she must sign in it. Date and place to be clearly mentioned properly. Payable on demand. The note must specifically whether the amount is payable on demand or at a specific future date, everything should be properly mentioned. It has to be stamped as per the legal requirement. In some countries or state, promissory note must be affixed with a revenue stamp or with some other duty laws related stamp. So we have to follow the states and country norms. So here there are two persons, maker and payee are available in the promissory note. Maker is the person who draws, signs the promissory note and promise to pay the amount in the specimen promissory note. And payee, he is a person to whom the amount of the promissory note is payable. Yes, in specimen, Akbar Khan is promised to pay, he thus payee. For example, I would like to give money to Bala. So myself is a maker and the person Mala is a payee. Once he received that promissory note, as per the condition, he has to make a payment to me. Then bill of exchange. A bill of exchange is playing an important part of the commercial life of the country. The need for it arises where the buyer of goods needs a period of credit before paying it. It's drawn by the creditor and is accepted by the debtor. Essentials of bill of exchange: first of all, it must be in writing and it must be an unconditional order to pay. That means it should be clear and an unconditional order signed by the drawer. The person who makes the bill of exchange must sign in it, and parties must be certain to whom we are writing this bill of exchange. That has to be clearly mentioned, like drawer, drawee, payee, all the persons' names to be properly mentioned. So there are three parties involved in this bill of exchange, whereas in the promissory note only two parties. Payment in money only. The amount payee must be in money, not goods or services. Specified amount, the amount to be paid should be definite and clearly mentioned. Payable on demand at a fixed time. The bill should state if it is payable immediately, on demand, at a future date. Stamping. It must be properly stamped as per the legal requirements. Specimen of a bill of exchange, copy it mentioned here. Here we have to mention the amount what we have to suppose to get from the person. Here the to whom we are writing is, this is a specimen of bill of exchange. Here we have to mention the amount and who is writing it, who is making this bill of exchange, and to whom we are giving it. All the things properly mentioned. 2 months after a date paid to Mr. Kamal or his order sum of $8,000 only for value received. Parties to the bill of exchange, there are three parties as we discussed. Drawer, the drawer is a person who draw a bill. He is the person who order a pay certain sum of money in the specimen copy of that. Then drawee, he is the person on whom the bill is drawn. He is the person who is ordered to make a payment of Rashid Ahmad in this specimen copy. And the payee, he is the person to whom the money is directed to be paid. He gets the payment of the bill. In this specimen copy, Kamal Ahmad is the payee of the bill. So the person who is writing is called drawer, and who wants to get a money, that person is called as a drawee, and who will be paying a money is called as a payee. So advantages of promissory note, it's a simple and easily understandable in nature, beneficial when a loan has simple payment terms, not very lengthy. Bill of exchange, it's easily transferable, beneficial when a loan has simple payment terms, not very lengthy, certain of terms and conditions, convenience mean of credit. If we want to get a loan from the bank, it will take a lot of time. It's a time consuming method. We have to follow a lot of rules and regulations, so it will create a lot of some stress in the terms of the person who wants to get a money from the banker. So in such case, if we follow this promissory note, it is a very easiest method where we can get a money from the concerned person to who is willing to lend a money to us. The conditions, rules and regulations, and the procedures is everything simple, where we can obtain money within a particular period of time. So when we look on to the disadvantages in the promissory note, it's not a beneficial for complex situation when the amount is large, and also it provides a greater protection against the borrower default is sought. It cannot be made payable to the bearer. Bill of exchange, not binding unless accepted by the drawee, and is it beneficial for complex situation. Types of bills, inland bill. It is a two essential condition to make an inland instrument are the instrument must have been drawn, made in India, the instrument must be payable in India, or the drawee must be in India. So that is called inland bill. Inland bill in the sense within a country only the bill of exchange can be executable, whether he may be a drawer or payee, both the person should be resident of India. Foreign bill, a bill which are not in a land are deemed to be a foreign bill. Normally, foreign bill are drawn in a set of 3 copies. For example, when we take export-import transaction from some shipping company, when we are transferring goods from India to China or some other countries, that will be coming under foreign bill. The person who carries the goods in a ship mode, once he transfers the goods to the concerned person, consignee, he has to surrender the bill of exchange. Then the person, after verifying it, will be sanctioning the amount. So that will be called as a foreign bill. Trade bill, a bill drawn and accepted for a genuine trade transaction in terms as trade bill. When a trader sells a goods on credit, he may make a use of bill of exchange. So instead of getting a money directly from one person, once the person handed over the goods through by bill of exchange, we can claim a money in the commercial transaction. That is called trade bill. Accommodation bill. An accommodation bill is a bill in which a person lends or gives name to oblige a friend or some person whom he knows. Accommodation means the person who carries it. In other words, a bill which is drawn, accepted, or endorsed without consideration is called an accommodation bill. The party lending is named to oblige the other party is known as the accommodating or accommodation party, and the party so obliged is called the party accommodated. An accommodation party is not liable on the instrument to the party accommodated because between them there were no consideration and instrument was only for help. But the accommodation party is liable to a holder for a value who take accommodation bill for an holder may not be holder in a due course. So accommodation bill, in the sense the person who carries the bill of exchange will be receiving a money and handovering to the same to the concerned person. Bills in sets. Foreign bill are usually drawn in sets to avoid dangerous of loss. Bill in sets. Foreign bills are usually drawn in sets to avoid danger of loss. There are drawn in sets of 3, each of which called via. As soon as any one of them is paid, the other become inoperative. All these parts form one bill and the drawer must sign and deliver all of them to the payee. A stamp is affixed only on one part and one part is required to be accepted. But if the drawer mistakenly accept all the parts of the same bill, he will be liable on each part accepted as if it were a separate bill. So these kind of a bill set mostly useful in the foreign transaction where it has to be properly and safely transferred from one person to another.